Like nearly anything else in the world, the amusement industry is a business. A business that thrives on innovation and creativity. Amusement parks are always looking for ways to better themselves. There's really nothing like the excitement of a big new roller coaster from the announcement all the way up through opening day. Today, we'll be discussing parks opening up major new roller coasters in North America for 2024. 2024 is shaping up to be a very strong year for the industry, with many parks already have been confirmed to be receiving new roller coasters for next year. However, there are still a lot of parks that have been heavily rumored to receive roller coasters that still remain unconfirmed. At the end of the video, I'll be throwing in a few guesses as to some parks that I could see getting roller coasters next year that haven't had many rumors surrounding them. Last year, I actually got one of these right with Adventureland in Iowa, so let's see how I do this year. A few guidelines I'll be following for this video to make it more enjoyable is that I'll only be looking at roller coasters that'll be at least on the scale of family coasters. So ideally around at least 40 to 50 feet tall, so I won't be giving you guys a list of SPF visas. Like I did last year, I'll be sticking to North American parks as that is my area of expertise, but if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to let me know if you'd like to see an overseas version of this video, as I think it may be plausible given that I have enough time to make it and there's enough support for it. I'll be breaking down coasters into a few categories. There's going to be a confirmed category, a basically confirmed to the point where we're just awaiting announcements category, and then a speculation category that'll feature a few rumors. Then, like I mentioned at the end, I'll be making a few predictions that are sort of just wild cards. Real quick before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support for what I'm doing. That said, let's go over some confirmed roller coasters for 2024. The first park we have is actually opening 2 new roller coasters with Codaland in Austin, Texas. This park has soft opened for a select few days with different events going on, but they have yet to open with a full year operating calendar. They are now scheming a 2024 opening with 2 big thrill coasters among some other unique thrill rides. Palindrome is a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster that was announced at IAAPA in 2021, and it will be a shuttle coaster with a 0G stall over the road, a flipped wave turn, and the first ever vertical hop stall. If you'd like to hear more about this coaster, I did a full analysis back when it was announced, so feel free to check that out. This park has also announced plans to build a Vekoma tilt coaster named Circuit Breaker. This roller coaster is going to be the first ever tilt coaster in America with foreign versions including a barrel roll down drop and a rollover camelback. This ride will also feature numerous airtime moments. This should be a very exciting new attraction, and it'll be the first time we see a new Vekoma thrill coaster in the US if it opens on time. Another new park opening next year is Mattel Adventure Park in Glendale, Arizona. And this park will also feature 2 new roller coasters, but these will be from Chance Rides. The smaller of the 2 is named Hot Wheels Bone Shaker, the Ultimate Ride, which looks to be a very solid family coaster that'll probably ride somewhat similar to Nickelodeon Slime Streak, hopefully with better trains. The larger of the 2 coasters will be Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer. We're not too sure exactly what this ride will look like, but it'll be the second Chance Hyper GTX, and it will be a launched roller coaster and will feature multiple inversions. We've seen a couple of renderings, but we don't have a great feel on how it will ride, but I'll definitely be tracking the construction process to see how this ride looks. Heading to the roller coaster capital of the world, we have Cedar Point opening their new Top Thrill Dragster redo, marking the 2nd year in a row they're getting a roller coaster. Of course, whenever Cedar Point is suspected to get a big new roller coaster, you'll hear just about anything and everything about what it could be. The current rumor, and the one that makes the most sense, will be that the ride will feature a swing launch with an absolutely massive spike that could be over 500 feet. This is supported by the fact that there are now footers under the Iron Dragon area across from the ride. This would come with a new LSM launch. Plus, to add to all the chaos, the main rumored manufacturer to do this overhaul is Zamperla. Anyway, regardless of all the rumors, this makeover is going to be huge and probably will get the most attention of any new roller coaster opening up next year. A ride that we know Zamperla will definitely be working on is a refurbished launch coaster coming to PNE Playland in Vancouver. This roller coaster used to be known as Senza Fiato at Miatrica in Italy, excuse my pronunciation there, which was manufactured by Intamin. Zamperla will retrofit the ride with a new LSM launch and a new train. This roller coaster will actually be the beginning of a major expansion to the park in an effort to transform the park into a major theme park. A ride that was somewhat recently discovered through permits filed to local governments was a new steel roller coaster coming to Dorney Park that will be approximately 162 feet tall. However, through the power of the internet and some people who really know their stuff when it comes to engineering, it looks like this coaster will be a B&M dive coaster. It also appears that this roller coaster will be a clone or mirror image of flying Apsaras in Western region at Happy Valley in China. Although this is generally a shorter layout, I'm sure some of the interaction with the surrounding area will be really nice. This will also be the park's first ground-up roller coaster since 2005, so I'm sure the locals won't have much to complain about. As I was in the process of editing this video, we saw shipping documents stating that parts were being shipped to Holiday World for Vekoma Family Boomerang. This is suspected to go where Pilgrim's Plunge once stood. This is a very good addition for the park as the gap between Howler and the park's more thrilling coasters was very large. But now there's something that kids and adults should be able to enjoy together. Now let's talk about some parks that we are pretty confident will open a roller coaster in 2024, but we don't really know for sure. Some of these coasters could open in 2025 or 2026 depending on numerous other factors, but for this category we have seen evidence that there is a new roller coaster coming to these parks, and we are really just awaiting full confirmation and construction to begin for these rides. Our first location for this category is actually not an amusement park, as it's the Nashville Zoo. This past December, we saw shipping permits for parts for a Vekoma Family Boomerang coming to the zoo. Surprisingly, this will be the first of the model to come to the United States, and it is rumored to be a clone of Tweesentreed at Wildlands Adventure Zoo in the Netherlands. The only thing we aren't quite sure about is what year this will be opening, as there has been no formal announcement from the zoo, but 2024 could certainly be in the cards. A project that may end up being humongous that has taken a back seat is a new 220-foot tall ride coming to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. What we know from the height variance that was filed by the park is that the ride will be on the old Drachenflyer plot, and it looks like it'll reuse the station from that roller coaster, as the peak height of the proposed attraction is not too far away from the old station building. Given the disconnect between the rest of the park and this area, it makes sense that a big new roller coaster would open here. From what we saw, construction is slated to end for this ride in March of 2024, so a 2024 opening date would make sense. However, as far as we know, we have not seen much on-site construction, if at all, so that 2024 opening date could get pushed back. The most speculated options for this ride seem to be a large RMC like Iron Gwazi, an Intamin hypercoaster to replace the original Drachenspire concept for the land, or an SNS looper like Steel Curtain to pay homage to Drachenfire in some way. No matter what option they go with, it sure seems like an absolutely massive project is in the works in Virginia. From one quickly growing park to another, we have a new family launch coaster coming to SeaWorld Orlando. This project is codenamed Toboggan, and it will be using parts of the Antarctica Empire of the Penguin building. All we know is the park filed a fire systems modification for the sprinklers within the queue of the former dark ride. However, given that the scale does not seem to be too large, and most of SeaWorld's recent coasters have been thrill-based, it may be safe to assume that this will finally be the family coaster to bridge the gap between Super Grover's Boxcar Derby and the park's more extreme coasters. The popular pick right now is an Intamin straddle coaster, as SeaWorld has installed a total of 3 of these in the chain, with 2 of them opening this year. It's possible this ride could be very similar to Arctic Rescue at SeaWorld Orlando, coupled with a few indoor elements. My dark horse option for this ride is a family-friendly B&M wing coaster like Mandrill Mayhem. However, any family coaster would be a welcome addition to this park. Playland's Castaway Cove in New Jersey is in the process of rebuilding their front entrance, and they have decided to build it even bigger and better by putting a new roller coaster inside of this new entrance that'll be about 40 to 50 feet above the boardwalk. We don't know much about this coaster, but we do know the height variance for this project was approved. From the sketches we saw, it looks like we'll be seeing some kind of wild mouse type coaster, but I wouldn't be shocked if this ends up being something completely unique. Either way, this looks like a really cool addition that the park is aiming to have ready by next year. A major new coaster that came out of nowhere for next year is a large Vekoma throw coaster coming to Vendetta World. This park hasn't even opened yet, but Vekoma teased on their social media accounts a large launch coaster coming to this park. The layout that we saw looks very unique and sort of like a more customized version of their Ghost Rider model. The main question is if the park will be able to follow through on this ride, as they have still yet to open their previous confirmed editions. But if this thing does end up happening, which it does seem more likely than not, because the manufacturer is already advertising it, we could have an absolute hit on our hands. Now let's move on to some parks that are rumored to get roller coasters. These parks might receive roller coasters next year, but we don't have any mainstream confirmation to prove it. It does, however, seem likely that these parks will all receive roller coasters within the next few years. After the success of Velocicoaster, it looks like Intamin will get another job with Universal in Hollywood in the form of a Fast and Furious themed drifting coaster. It looks like this coaster will be fairly extreme, and it will apparently utilize the terrain and even go around the escalator to the park. We've also seen Intamin track near one of their factories in Europe that matches the color scheme of the concept art. However, the reason I have this in the rumored section is because there will likely need to be a lengthy construction process for this coaster. And as far as I know, construction has not started yet, indicating that this will likely be a 2025 or 2026 project. But if the track we saw is indeed for this ride, it does make me more optimistic that we will see this open sooner rather than later. With the original Fire in the Hole closing at the conclusion of the summer, it looks like we will be getting a pretty quick replacement for this ride. New building has already been constructed for the replacement, and we have seen concepts for rumored trains. And we have even seen track on site. This ride might apparently be a new theme or just be an upgraded version of the old one. This coaster will apparently be a powered roller coaster and will be built by RMC. With the progress we've seen, it seems like this ride will be slated to open in 2024, but a lot of people were surprised when the park did not announce the new roller coaster when the original Fire in the Hole was announced to be closing. I would still lean toward this ride opening next year, but it's entirely possible that it does not open until 2025, especially if they intend for this attraction to be very immersive. After a massive addition in 2022 with Iron Gwazi, Busch Gardens Tampa may be looking to add their next roller coaster in 2024 or 2025. Busch Gardens has started work on Project Halcyon, as documents have been posted by the city online. There have also been rumors of Sand Serpent being removed from the park. The only thing I could see coming this year is a family coaster, but it does seem like this ride is a couple years out. A lot of people have speculated that a Giga Coaster could be coming in the near future, so maybe these two things could be related for prep work for a larger 2025 or 2026 roller coaster. So given that, I lean toward no new roller coaster for Busch Gardens Tampa in 2024. Moving into our final category, let's make some predictions. These will all be predictions coming from myself without much prior communal speculation. The first parks I'm predicting to get new roller coaster actually has to do with the whole chain of Six Flags. Six Flags stated in their Q4 earnings call that $150 to $200 million that was planned to be allocated for beautification purposes will now be used for rides and attractions. This means that some larger rides and roller coasters will likely be coming across the Six Flags chain for 2024. I think on the smaller side, we will see a couple more Skyline family dueling coasters. The rumor was that Six Flags had purchased 5 sets of those coasters. So if that is to be true, we'll likely see a couple more of those across the chain. Yeah, I know these are under 40 feet tall, but anything Six Flags does is magnified on a national scale, so I think it'd be worth mentioning. I think a park like Great Escape is a good candidate to be a recipient of one of those, and I also think there's a good chance Six Flags America will get a pair of these coasters as well, because they've already started teasing a new expansion to the kids area of the park for 2024. In terms of bigger rides, we don't really know who the leadership of the country will work with, as we haven't seen them purchase any larger thrill rides yet. If I had to take a guess, I think they will go a bit out of the box and purchase 1 or 2 SNS Access coasters and 1 or 2 RMC family coasters. I think Great America and Great Adventure would be 2 good bets to get larger coasters this year, but beyond that, I can really see any of the parks getting an RMC family coaster. But I'll go with Six Flags New England and put a smaller coaster where Goliath stood to have a ride like Wicked Cyclone suitable for families. To anyone who says that wouldn't happen, just remember this is the park that had 2 boomerangs right next to each other before this, so why not do it again in the same location? As for larger coasters, I'll take Six Flags Great Adventure to get one. Mainly because it's their 50th anniversary next year, and an access coaster would be something completely unique. Carowinds is another park that has been getting pumped full of investments the past decade, and I think that'll continue. Right now, we believe that Cedar Fair has 2 big additions planned in terms of roller coasters for 2024, but I think they'll round out that collection with a family coaster for Carowinds. Cedar Fair gave multiple parks family coasters last year, so I think they continue that trend. As for what that coaster is, I could see something like Snoopy's Racing Railway from Art Engineering coming here. Or maybe even a small GCI like Zambezi Zinger to also fill out that modern wooden coaster gap. So to further clarify, mark me down for predicting a roller coaster for Carowinds, Six Flags America, New England, and Great Adventure in 2024. 2024 looks like another solid year for the North American coaster scene, and I can't wait to see what surprises are on the horizon. If you have any wildcard predictions for 2024, make sure to leave them down in the comments below, as I'd love to hear them. There's also a lot of cool stuff opening up overseas next year as well, so make sure to stay tuned for a video later this year about a ranking of all the new roller coasters opening in 2024 across the world. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more awesome amusement park content coming very soon. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.